Number 10. Marie Antoinette's failed attempt at escaping. When the French Revolution broke out, King Louis XVI planned to escape alone and mobilize his supporters to counter the revolution and save his crown. However, his wife, Marie Antoinette, demanded that she join him with the children. They chose a slow-moving luxurious carriage which stood out, and it soon became apparent to the people that it belonged to the royal couple. The people of France were insulted that their monarch was trying to escape a nation embroiled in commotion. They just decided to do away with him and his cowardly kind. Number 9. An error in interpretation caused the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The Americans drafted the Potsdam Declaration, which demanded the unconditional surrender of Japan. Kantaro Suzuki, the Japanese premier, responded with the word mokusatsu, which means to withhold from comment. However, the same word can also mean to contemptuously ignore, and this is where his interpreters got it wrong. It was sent across to the Americans, and a week later, Hiroshima became the target of an attack that claimed many lives. Number 8. The Berlin Wall fell because of a bureaucrat's misinformation. In 1989, as the grip of the socialist regime in East Germany loosened and the Soviet Union came under the leadership of Mikhail Gorbachev, there was a decision to ease travel restrictions between the East and West. Gunter Schabowski, a bureaucrat, was supposed to hold a press conference announcing the ease of travel restrictions. When asked by reporters when the new measures would come into effect, he went into a moment of doubt and muttered, "Immediately, right away." This led to many people heading to the wall to enter West Berlin, while others just decided to do away with the symbol of the oppressive regime. Today, only parts of the wall stand in the city of Berlin. Number 7. D-Day took place because someone took the day off. The day the Allied forces managed to occupy the coast of France from Nazi Germany during World War II is better known as D-Day. It all happened because of one man who felt that the bad weather would keep his enemies at bay. Field Marshal Rommel took the weekend of June 6 off to celebrate his wife's birthday, leaving his troops unprepared to keep off the Allies from continental Europe. Number 6. Constantinople fell thanks to an unlocked door. The impenetrable city of Constantinople was guarded by the thick wall that kept out invading forces. However, its fall in 1453 AD brought an end to the Middle Ages and brought about the dominance of the Ottoman Empire and the Renaissance. The Byzantine Empire fell thanks to a failure to lock one of the gates of its Great Wall. Once the Ottomans discovered this flaw, all hell broke loose and resistance rapidly faded. Number 5. It wasn't icebergs that made the Titanic sink, but a set of keys. We all know that the maiden voyage of the Titanic came to a tragic end when it hit an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean. The man in charge of looking out for icebergs wasn't equipped with binoculars because it was locked up in a box and the keys hadn't made it aboard. Apparently, the second officer on the ship was changed last minute. Charles Lightoller, who was assigned as the new second officer, was not given the keys in the handover, as the man he replaced had forgotten to get them out of his pocket. Number 4. Failure to buy new rifles prolonged the American Civil War. The Union States, the North, could have won the American Civil War in a shorter period of time had they procured newer rifles. The man responsible was James Wolfe Ripley, the chief ordnance, who constantly blocked the move to buy new guns. An aide suggested they buy cheaper Enfield rifles from the British, but he refused to turn to his old enemies for help. Sadly, the Confederacy, the South, procured these cheap British rifles and sent the Union on the losing side for the first few battles of the war. Ripley was ousted soon after and the Union succeeded in winning the war. Number 3. World War I began because someone took a wrong turn. We all know that World War I started with the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie. Although the aristocratic couple managed to deflect an assassination attempt earlier in the day, their chauffeur drove them into the jaws of death this time. While on their way to visit a hospital full of victims of a targeted bomb blast, their car took a wrong turn where one of the assassins happened to be. While the car was reversing, he took his chance and succeeded. Number 2. Hannibal lost nearly half his army because of a cane. It was during Hannibal's legendary crossing of the Alps to invade Italy, in 218 BC, in order to prove to his 38,000 troops that the way was safe. He rammed his cane into the snow. The cane triggered an avalanche that killed 18,000 of his men, 2,000 of his horses, and a ton of his elephants. Yeah, Hannibal crossed the Alps with elephants. Number 1. We lost the Mars Climate Orbiter because the engineers worked in inches. The Lockheed Martin team that built the jet thrusters in 1999 worked in the imperial system, rather than the metric system, and did not tell NASA. The orbiter went so wackily off course that NASA just gave up. It is listed as assumed lost.